Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new day. It is Wednesday morning, almost 10 o'clock, and it is a rainy morning. Hasn't rained too hard, but rain nonetheless. So that means it's a cloudy day. And like Glenn said, oh, it's your kind of day. Yes, it is. So it's 65 degrees. For the last 2 days we had 70s, low 70s, but still 70s, and it was nice out. But those are the only days it's calling for 70s for the next 10-day forecast at least. So we're actually going to have 50s and 60s. So yeah, we went directly from hot and humid summer right into fall weather. There was no real transition, just let's go from one to the other right away. I'm sure throughout the month of September we'll still get a 70-degree day here or there, but looks like we've set into early fall here. I'm not complaining though. So I hope you're all doing well. Sorry I didn't do a proper intro by getting on the camera, but I'm kind of in a hurry. So yeah, I'm going to the food pantry if you haven't guessed. I'm running a little late, but that's okay. I'll still make it. This food pantry has a morning hours and an afternoon hours. And if you remember, I changed to the morning hours. Now yesterday, or not yesterday, but Monday, I was going to go to the new pantry. It's not a new pantry, but I haven't been there in a couple of years. But it was Labor Day, so they were closed. But I did realize that before I even went. So, and they go on the first and third Monday of the month. So I'll have to wait another couple weeks for that one. Week and a half. Yeah, I hope you all had a nice Labor Day weekend. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about being overwhelmed as a caregiver, or maybe just, not even as a caregiver, just anybody being overwhelmed, no matter what the situation is. But as a caregiver, that I have to do all the chores on, outside, inside, and everything. And I don't get overwhelmed often, but like this situation with outside work and being inside. So I hadn't cut the grass in well over a month, and it's gotten long. And so what happened was, I was cutting the grass on a regular basis, but then it got like real sticky outside and hot, and I just don't do well with that weather or being outside, so I didn't cut the grass. But at the end of that kind of weather, then Glenn kind of came down with an infection. So he was peeing like almost every hour to 2 hours. So I couldn't really go outside, because the urge just comes on like that, and if I'm not there fast enough, I'll have a mess to clean up. So then I couldn't, and that didn't last for too long, maybe a week or two. I'm not sure, maybe just a week. But then, was it last week or the week before? Gypsy came down with a bout of diarrhea. And so I obviously couldn't leave her side either. So by this time, Glenn was well okay. He had already gotten over his infection. We think it was an infection anyway, but it went away. And so Gypsy came down with a bout of diarrhea at 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was a couple of nights that we didn't get much sleep. She's good now. I made the chicken and rice with pure pumpkin for her, and it took a matter of like two or 3 days. She had diarrhea for like 2 days straight, and by the third day she had been mostly back to normal. So she's okay. I don't know if she just got a stomach bug or something, but it was just suddenly. That's why I always like to have chicken breast in the house. I have some already frozen shredded chicken cooked for her in the freezer in case it happens that I just have to thaw it out and warm it up. And then I just make a pot of rice, and she loves it. So to her it's a treat. But anyway, so it was just kind of a back and forth thing where I wasn't able to get outside. And by that time, we were getting some rainy days as well. So naturally the grass was going to grow faster. So every time I look out the window, you know, all I can see is the grass growing, and I knew there was other things I needed to get done out there, but I just couldn't get out there. And normally it's, I don't really get overwhelmed by it, but for some reason this time I was just like, the grass is getting real long. And so I actually finally got out there yesterday, and I spent a good amount of hours out in the backyard yesterday. I didn't record anything. I was just working. So I ended up having to cut down a couple trees. Not big trees. They're weed trees that grow from weeds. One was like shorter, but it sprouted out like all around it. So, and then the other two were just they were thinner, but they were growing tall, but they were all three growing in the wrong areas of the property. The shorter, fatter one was growing right next to the side of the shed, and the other two were growing next to the garage where it's not visible. It's on the other side, and the branches and leaves and stuff were growing over the roof of the garage. So and there's still like one or two that I need to cut down, but alongside the shed, cut down that one, and that was a thicker tree. Not real thick. I would say it was like 4.5 inches thick. So it's not real thick, but it was big, like round wise. It spread pretty good. But I used that mini chainsaw that was gifted to me in friend mail, and boy did that save me. That made it go by so much faster. So yeah, I cut a lot of branches off the trees, and I have a big pile that I piled them all on, and I'm gonna have to burn them. We're supposed to get a few days of high winds, so I'm gonna wait into, I don't like having fires when it's windy. So yeah, I have them all on a big pile. I was gonna vlog and, you know, show you what I did. I cleaned up the area pretty good. So maybe I'll take you out there later and show you what I did. But the grass was extremely long. Part of it is still extremely long. I didn't get a chance to cut it all. But I did a lot of tree cutting, grass trimming, grass cutting, raking, and it just, yeah. So the first part of my day, I went out there in the morning yesterday and I came back in probably about 2 o'clock because my body was just like shaking. I felt really weak and I was shaking. I did eat before I went out, but the sun was a little warm, so I was sweating, but I did drink like 3 bottles of water out there. But yeah, my body was just starting not to feel well, and then I had to come in. I had to pee and Glenn had to pee, and so, but I knew I had to eat something, so I just put everything away and figured I'd just come back to it. So that's where I kind of left it off yesterday, but I got a lot done. There's still a lot to be done. Half of the grass still needs to be cut, and now it's wet again, and I had to cut it on a high deck, like the max number 6. So yeah, and I don't like to let it get that long. But the good thing is we're going into cooler temperatures, so that's gonna stop the grass from growing so fast. So I don't figure I have to cut it too many more times after this. I figure maybe once in October, possibly. Depends how cold it gets. But yeah, I was actually, when I wasn't able to go out and cut the grass, I was actually starting to feel a little overwhelmed because I knew deep down I needed to get out there and cut it. So, and I'm sure a lot of you feel that way when there's just not enough time on your hands to get it all done. And so yeah, that was my overwhelming feeling. But now that I know I have the trees cut down and they're stacked up ready to be burned, and some of the grass a little cut, I have to get some more gas, so I feel a little better. I don't feel as overwhelmed anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. So now August is over, and it is September 3rd. And for me, the end of August signifies the end of summer. Well, when I first got here, Glenn always told me, once the 4th of July is over, summer's over. And I actually laughed at that. But then I soon realized, and it could be it's just the region we live in, that yeah, we still got summer days and things like that, but you can start to see the way the day looks, how that starts to change real fast. And I soon realized, yeah, summer's not over, but it's over. The change is happening. And there's some summers where it stays hot. We did have a hot July, hot and humid July. But for Glenn it didn't matter because he was indoors all the while. Alrighty, so I'm coming up on the food pantry. Alright folks, so I will be back and we'll pick up our little chat.